Okay, so we talked about aggregate demand, which has the four different parts. Okay, aggregate supply, we don't break it into different chunks. Uh, Aggregate supply is all of the output of the economy. Okay, so um, these are the determinants that impact it. We've been talking about aggregate supply, just aggregate supply, not short run or long run. Then I introduced long run aggregate supply. So if I just say aggregate supply, always assume I'm talking about short run. Okay, the upward sloping short run aggregate supply curve. Okay, long run aggregate supply is the vertical line at full employment. I'll specify if I'm talking about that. Okay, so these are determinants of aggregate supply for the short run. So the first one is cost of key resources, labor, oil, energy, other commodities. So if those costs go up, okay, this is one of the fears of if they put in a minimum wage, right, that'll lead to higher unemployment and essentially a reduction in the labor force. And bottom line is that's going to negatively impact aggregate supply. So if oil prices get too high, other energy prices, electricity, or other commodities, steel, other things, aluminum, copper is very important. So don't worry, about commodities are just resources that essentially all businesses use, okay? You could even say like the internet, okay? All right, so if those costs get too high, that's gonna hurt aggregate supply. And if we want these to be low. If we're a business, I hate to break the news to you, businesses don't want to be paying people too much money, okay? All right, so the 3.5 million that I make every year is a drag on, Fenwick's ability to hire other people. Plus throwing the $500,000 for the JV softball championship. If I MC the pep rally, that's another 20 grand. I didn't get to MC the pep rally this year, so I got to come up with 20 grand some other way. All right, so obviously that bit of humor is meant to help you remember that businesses want payroll to be low. Corporate taxes, right? Businesses want them to be low. Why? Well, it's no guarantee, but money not paid in taxes may lead to more investment, right? May lead to more hiring of people and more production. Okay, so that's Ronald Reagan's big contribution, and Donald Trump lowered corporate taxes from 35% to 21%. What is the problem with this? Well, the businesses don't have to, use that for more output. They can just keep the money themselves. Okay, it's a free country. Subsidies, now, that can be something where the government can say, hey, we'll give you a subsidy to invest in environmentally safe products or environmental energy, so that the government can kind of handcuff you a little bit. That's the advantage of a subsidy, is it can go right towards things that they want it to be, as opposed to taxes. There's no guarantee that that's going to lead to more hiring, etc. New technology, right? We don't use technology unless it's going to help us produce more, okay? What am I doing right now? I'm using an iPad to post on YouTube so you can go to Schoology and look at it to study. Precisely 0 of those things was possible when I was in high school. And that wasn't that long ago. Okay. My teacher could have held up a poster in the parking lot and I could have driven by. That would have been the technology of those days. And not everything's good. There's disasters, right? Not every disaster has to be death as far as economics. We're experiencing a disaster now. The extreme cold, the snow, okay, is limiting transportation, communications, power outages, etc. Okay, drought for agricultural products, the fires in California, civil unrest, you name it, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc. These tend to have more of an impact on aggregate supply than aggregate demand. Why? Disasters in some way necessitate demand for certain goods, so it's not necessarily a negative on aggregate demand, okay? Because you know, if you work in the snow removal business, this is like the greatest month we've had in a few years, okay? And remember your graphs, okay? I made the stagflation graph because I think this is the most important one as far as aggregates play. Every graph is important, but stagflation, as we know, is the worst of both worlds, right? If oil prices went up, labor costs go up, or if corporate taxes get increased, okay? So Joe Biden, at the, you know, first thing that's gonna come out of people's mouths as he raises corporate taxes is there's stagflation coming, okay? Courtesy of the most radical left administration since, I don't even know. Okay. The loony radical left. I'm sorry. The loony radical left that wants to raise corporate taxes to 29%. Okay. All right, so, sorry, I digress. I think I might be getting close to 8 minutes. All right, so stagflation would be a decrease in aggregate supply caused by higher corporate taxes, higher costs of labor, droughts, disasters, etc. New technology never is bad, right? Corporate subsidies are never going to be bad, okay? But stagflation is the worst of both worlds because it hurts GDP, hurts employment, hurts output, and price level goes up, okay? Price, and this is cost push inflation. Cost push comes from the one where costs of labor and oil go up. That's going to lead to that type of inflation. Okay, so make sure you know these, and then the reverse is supply side economics, which is Hannah Montana land, the best of both worlds. Okay, that's video 2 of the review videos. I think I'm going to make a third one. So I'm having a great time. I'm like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I'm in here by myself as a blizzard is happening outside. And I don't want to leave because it's kind of nice and warm and toasty here. 8 minutes, boom.